everybody, this is Andrew from T is for Tech, and today I'm going to do a video taking a look and unboxing the Thronmax Space lavalier microphone system that is compatible with all sorts of things, right? So if you think about where this is kind of competing, this product is competing with things like the Rode Wireless Go or the DJI little microphone set. There's a couple others as well in this space of kind of a combination of microphones and lavaliers that you can use to do on-camera recording, with either on top of a camera or remote lavaliers and things like that. So definitely going to go ahead and take a look at this. Now this is live on Kickstarter. Their Kickstarter campaign just kicked off a couple days ago, and Thronmax did send this over to the channel to kind of get my unbiased, honest review or honest thoughts on this. And in looking at it so far, I think it's a pretty compelling offering, especially if you can get in on the Kickstarter price, because you're getting quite a discount over the retail that they're looking to eventually sell these things for. I'm going to go ahead and open this up and then read some of the specs. One thing, I don't know how this will be packaged, when it's shipped from a retail perspective, but basically this stuff came in a box and with some packing foam and things like that, and I just took it out already. But they'll give you, at least I got, a Thronmax kind of hard soft shell case, which has space for your extra cables and things like that. It also has a custom compartment for the components, the different condenser microphone lavaliers. So that's pretty cool from just a storage and travel perspective. Throw this in your camera bag, throw this in your your duffel bag of video recording equipment and things like that, and you should be good to go. Now this here is in kind of like a metal aluminum case, got the Thronmax logo there. When I open this up, some stickers, cool stickers. And then basically you have everything in here. So if you take a look at this now, what's kind of interesting about this is that, there's a bunch of different ways you can use it. Like I said, if we kind of take a look at that, the main one, I don't know if you can see, the main unit or the receiver unit obviously can act as its own microphone, but this is the one that has like an LCD screen on it. So this is when you set it up and you check your levels and you make all of your adjustments. This kind of potentially would be, what you would stick on your camera hot shoe, right? So this will slide into a camera hot shoe. You can also clip it on some clothing if you're using this one separately. They all kind of have that clip. The one thing I would say here, from the clip perspective, you might have to be careful because this doesn't have a lot of give. And depending on what you might be trying to clip this on clothes, you might break off this clip foot. So that's one thing just right off the bat I noticed. I don't know how that will work. It might have been better if they had some sort of like alligator clip, that had a metal bracket or something. And again, like I said, this is I'm trying to be have this to be an honest review. But before I jump into all of that, let me just go over what's in the package here. You do have a USB to USB-C charging cable. Now, what you can use this for is basically, plug it in once and you can charge all three of them at the same time. I'm assuming that's really what it's for. It's kind of multiple charger, since these do use USB-C to charge. And then for the two that kind of are meant to be lavalier, you do have this little wind muff, so you can go ahead and put that on there. So you can protect the microphone portion on there. And like I said, so the receiver, basically is the receiver. And then this is, what you can plug into your camera or other items using the different adapter cables that come with this. So you'll see you get an assortment of cables. This is a TRS to USB-C. You also have a couple, let me see, what are these? Yeah, so just like TRS cables. So this is a TRS to a TRRS, so tip, ring, sleeve. So depending on what you need to plug into, you have a few different options in configuring it. If you're plugging into a smartphone versus you're plugging into maybe a computer microphone port or something like that. Then you also have, if you don't want to use basically the microphone themselves as the microphone, you can clip this on somebody and you can use an omnidirectional lavalier as well. So you get two of those, basically two lavaliers, various connector cables, the two microphone, two condenser microphones / lavalier doohickeys, as well as the receiver. Turn this guy on. Hopefully it's charged. If you can see, it says Thronmax. Now it's going to be super hard to see this. The LCD is not very bright. But anyways, it has a 1 and 2. And then I'll go ahead and turn this on. Okay, and when I turn it on, it pairs and you can start to see levels. Do the same with the other one. Okay, you can see that as well. And maybe I will turn off the lights here. So basically you should be able to see there's some level indicators there. There's a number 1 and 2, battery level, brightness. Maybe I can change the brightness, maybe not. Yeah, there's really only one brightness that I can see. And it's not that bright. But yeah, the idea is you should be able to see this. The camera's having a hard time. So hopefully you can see that a little bit better there, but that's what the LCD screen looks like. So you have a 1 and 2 representing the different transmitters, and this is the receiver. So that's how that works. Very similar to other things like the Rode Wireless Go's and that sort of thing. So this right now is in stereo recording mode. So you can see the 1 and 2 are basically showing on either side. You can switch this to just a mono recording mode as well, so that you just get one recorded channel that has both of the audio on it. With each of these, you can mute them. So a short press there, I think it mutes it. Press it again, and it unmutes it. And you can tell just with those LEDs on the side. Flashing, I think, means it's muted. And then it's not muted. So what I'm actually going to do now, and I will see if this actually works. We'll have to see what the sound quality is like. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off one of these. Okay, so now there's just one transmitter turned on. And I'm going to plug this into my camera. So go ahead and, so again, this is the receiver. I'm going to plug this into the camera. So I'm going to unplug the microphone that I have plugged in. So this is the first transmitter. I have this plugged in. I have the receiver plugged in. I adjusted the levels on my camera. So this is a Canon M50 camera. So hopefully the levels are okay on this. And I'm just going to hold it maybe, kind of like close to my chest where I would be talking if it was clipped to a shirt as a lavalier. And hopefully that sounds pretty good. So that's clipped to my chest. And again, this should have near zero noise. Everybody, so as you just saw, this microphone sounded like crap on my camera. So I had it attached to, and you can see kind of behind me my rig there for the top-down video. I had that set up, and the receiver plugged into my Canon M50, and I don't know, the volume levels, the input level was all I don't know. It was just super high, super hot. And when I thought I had it adjusted correctly based on the camera settings in the menu, it obviously was still terrible, because when I was just showing you the audio when I'm doing this editing, it just did not sound good at all. It was peaking. It was, clipping, all kinds of stuff. Now, what I did do now is just plug this into Premiere, or plug this into my Mac Studio. So this is plugged into my Mac Studio. I have it set up, and I'm doing a voiceover using a screen recording software, so you can see what it sounds like now. And I've had to do this a couple times to try to get the settings correct. And I do believe I got a decent sound out of this now, where it's not clipping and it's not sounding terrible. So actually sounds pretty decent if you can get the settings correctly, or the settings correct. Now what I had to do is actually reduce the output gain on the microphone itself, or on the receiver. And this is not really well spelled out in the help documentation that was shipped with this, but I did find a way to set the level on this just down a notch, because it kind of shows, and it's hard to see, I can't really show you. It shows kind of like a triangle thing, like almost like a loudness scale, and it was at the top, so it was like fully filled in, and I just adjusted it so it looks like it's probably maybe 75% filled in. And now, it's not, the output coming out of here is not as hot. And I think that might have been the problem when I had it hooked up on the Canon, is that even though the Canon's level showed okay, the signal was coming out of this receiver like way too hot. So it just was making it sound just jacked up. So I think that fixed it. So this does, at least in the first test I did with this does sound better. So, and again, I'm using the wind muff here. Now, risking making this even sound worse, I am going to use the lavalier, again, because the lavalier is included with this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug this in and talk a little bit on the lavalier, and hopefully you'll see the sound difference between, this condenser microphone built into this transmitter and the lavalier that they give you. So now I have the lavalier like right there on my shirt. So hopefully you can get a sense of what that sounds like. Now overall, like I said, this is a pretty decent setup if you're looking for, like a wireless transmitter, wireless receivers. You want to do multiple, interview type things, or remote sound for your camera, or other things, right? But I guess the key that I found on this is that, one, the directions are kind of crappy. I'm just being 100% honest, right? There's not a lot of directions. It's just a couple sheets of paper, and hopefully that's something that Thronmax will, make better when they go to release this. So there's a lot more detail on how to get the best sound out of this, how to best set the levels and the settings and things like that, so that it doesn't clip and doesn't sound garbly. So I'm sure they'll do that, as part of rolling this out of, from the Kickstarter into production. And then basically, yeah, I mean, if you can get that, I think it sounds pretty good. Now, does it sound as good as other microphones that I have? Probably not. Like I have used the Rode Wireless Go 2 in the past, and while I'm not doing a direct comparison here, for me those are easier to configure and easier to set up and get a good sound out of. It's just a thing that I'm not going to compare, but hopefully you can get a good sense of what this sounds like just in this video. So I will link to this Kickstarter in the description of the video. If you have any questions, go ahead and post those below. I'll be happy to kind of answer whatever I can. This is Andrew from TS for Tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.